Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is our end of year wrap up for 2023-2024, and we are calling it all hands on deck just because as we end 23, there's some things that I want to reflect back on, and I want to make sure that I'm reviewing some things that are going to be expected for 2024. So, good morning. So, I'm going to provide you just a base for all that you need to consider to end the year on a high note and start 2024 with a bang. On this webinar with me are a few of members of my team. So Michelle and Sarah are both here. They will be monitoring the Q&A and the chat. So if you have any questions, please ask them. You have my attention for the next 30 minutes. And remember, these webinars are truly only 30 minutes. So there's a lot to cover. Let's get started. All right. So on the agenda is I just want to make sure everyone's aware of who I am and what CST does. I am going to review some 2023 key achievements that affected both CST and our clients. So that's super important. I am going to review with you your end of year checklist. And we are going to talk about the 2024 technology strategies that I'm hoping everyone will put into place, along with what to expect in 2024. Now, everybody on this webinar, your name will be entered into a drawing for a $100 Amazon gift card. So wait until the very end because we will be announcing the winner before we disconnect. All right, guys. So some of you may know me already, but some may not. So here are a few things about me. I have been in business for 23 years. This company is headquartered in the Adirondack Mountains of New York, but we also have an office in Southwest Florida. I've been teaching at the university level for about 11 years. I'm now over that. I did that a while back. I have a bachelor's degree in IT and a master's in communications. And of course, being in the tech world, I do have a ton of continued certifications. It's never ending in the tech world. And in order for us to stay up, we definitely need to be able to get those certifications. I am also CEO and founder of CST Group Inc. So we are excited that you are here. All right, so what is CST and what do we do? Ideally, we are a proactive IT management firm. We specialize in the compliance-driven industries, and we help secure, protect, and manage technology. Simply, we are small businesses IT. So we like to provide that service for those businesses that really can't afford or have no need to have a full-time IT staff member. So instead of doing that, you hire my team and you get us all. And all of the stuff that we have to offer you. All right, so let's talk about some 2023 key achievements. As an IT firm that takes care of thousands of endpoints, we set out to not only get our clients to meet their standard compliance requirements, but understand why it's so important. And in 2023, we assisted with multiple cleanup projects from ransomware and virus attacks for businesses that came to us after it was a little too late. We celebrate with our clients the goal of getting all of them compliant with their respective requirements. So compliance, remember, is industry specific. So based on where you sit in that, we helped our clients achieve that. We deployed and maintained cybersecurity protocols for all of our clients, and we achieved that successfully for everyone. We activated multi-factor authentication, which is now a requirement. We've got to make sure everyone is taking that serious with regards to getting that second layer of protection on all of your accounts. And of course, we love to educate. We love to be a resource, whether you're a client that just needs some consulting regards to maybe something you want to try or do, or whether it be a prospect who just is getting information and they want to confirm whether or not that information is accurate. We love to educate. Okay, so for us, those were some pretty key achievements that we managed to accomplish in 2023, and we continue to grow. So just so that you're aware, CST has been around for for 23 years. So we have been in the business a long time and experienced a lot of things. Our growth revenue has been increased 30% year over year for the past 4 years, and we have managed to keep that going at the end of 2023. So we're proud of that. All right, so here is an end of year checklist for you. I'm going to review each of these independently, but number one on that list is we're going to evaluate your current IT infrastructure. I need you to do that. We're going to talk about an IRS Section 179 that's going to benefit you. We're going to talk about some policies and procedures, and then we're going to close out 2023 with a really simple checklist, okay, of what I'm hoping that you'll do to close out your 2023. All right, so number one is evaluate current IT infrastructure. Okay, and what I mean by that is I need you to evaluate your current age and performance of your equipment. Okay, and the best way to do that is to simply talk to your staff. Uh, are they having IT issues? Are there any pain points? Is something making them crazy that's making them unproductive? Are they being efficient? Is functionality good? Your staff, the ones that are in it every day, really understand how that is going to project your equipment replacements. Okay. Evaluate for Windows 11 upgrades. Now, remember, for most of my clients, so if you're a client, we already done this. We evaluated your asset inventory. We already have that in play. And we evaluated specifically in anticipation of October 2025. Now, October of 2025 is when your systems need to be upgraded to Windows 11. And that is simply because the Windows 10 security protocols are going to stop. So we want to project that for October 2025, so that we're not replacing a ton of equipment that particular year. That can impact budgets and take us a little off kilter. So we want to make sure that you are meeting those guidelines and considering that now. Okay. Don't forget about your network equipment and your printers. Is your firewall in need of an upgrade? Do you have a firewall? What about switches and wireless accessibility? Is that all good and secure and being monitored and managed? How much money are you spending on toner or ink for those printers? Is it cost effective? What about your print volume? Maybe you should consider replacing with a multifunction unit. So if you can just take a step back, evaluate your current IT infrastructure, and let's just make sure that we're projecting out accordingly for the years moving forward. And with that deadline looming of October of 2025, we really don't want to have to wait until the last minute. Okay, makes sense? All right, IRS Section 179. Now, I need you all to consider this year over year. The IRS Section 179 is a tax code that allows business taxpayers to deduct the cost of certain property as an expense when the property is first placed in service. Now, the advantage to that is if you purchase equipment this year, it would fall under Section 179. So please make sure that you're talking to your accountants about it. If you purchased equipment, that is a tax deduction for you for that year. Okay, so please don't forget about Section 179. And sometimes you have to tell your accountant about it, right? So if you purchased equipment in this year, 2023, and all years following, make sure you're tracking it to tell your accountant they can use it as a deduction. All right. Definitely advantageous. If you've got money in 2023's budget, you still have time to get that equipment ordered. Okay. Policies and procedures. Now, this is one that I find near and dear to my heart because my office is crazy about procedural and policies. So I need you to take a look at what your current IT policies and procedures are and make any adjustments. I will tell you, you're going to need to make adjustments specifically as you move forward as technology changes. So we want to make sure that you're keeping those policies updated. And then more importantly, you've updated them. You now have to communicate it with your team. Okay. Now, while you are doing that, consider evaluating and verifying all of the privileged accounts that you have. All right. Now, when I talk to my clients, they'll say, "What does that mean? Like, what is that? Like, I don't understand." Okay, so your staff have different rights and permissions to the things that they do, right? Some of them may be administrative and they can access everything, right? You've given them the keys to the kingdom, whether that be your financials, whether that be your accounting, whether that be your special software, your inventory, whether that be online accounts, login credentials. And sometimes what will happen is we have let someone go, right? Someone may have left in 2023, but we want to make sure that they are not still in your system with privileged access. So please be careful to evaluate who has come, who has gone, and whether or not they still have access to accounts that they should no longer have. Okay, so update policies and procedures. Make sure that those are all being communicated with your staff. Okay. All right. Now we're going to close out 2023 with this really simple summary. One is evaluate your IT infrastructure and determine any 2024 projects. You're going to make any end of year purchases. You still have time. You still have a week or so. We can always make sure that that gets projected in 2023's budget. You're going to update any policies and procedures, and you're going to share that with your team, and you're going to evaluate credentials and remove access to accounts if needed. Okay. And the final one that I put out on your closeout is please gather statistical data. All right. What happens is sometimes when we don't gather that statistical data, we end up losing sight of what we've done, how much money we've spent, and where we're headed for 2024. So that statistical data helps us make better decisions moving forward. What did we do right? What did we do very, very wrong? What contracts do we have in place? When are they going to end? So gathering that statistical data is going to help us in the future. So if you do it now and you keep it on this checklist year over year, what will happen is we'll end up having a really good base of how we're going to move forward with your technology. Okay. So that is basically a really quick summary of closing out 2023. All right, now here's what to expect for 2024. I know that AI is artificial intelligence is there, right? We have all been using it, but now it seems that the hype is on AI. They are pushing that artificial intelligence protocol, and here's what I need you to understand about AI. It is people generated content. That's what artificial intelligence is. It is someone is generating the content of how you are being presented with things. Okay. It's going to significantly make it harder to detect compromise because previously we used to be able to look at an email and understand that, you know what, the spelling of that is weird, the pronunciation of that is weird. That I know I can clearly identify that email is not real. Okay. And now what's happening is hackers are using artificial intelligence to help develop content for them. So it's going to become significantly harder to be able to identify what is real and what is not. Okay. But AI already is out there. It generates our shopping suggestions, our decision making, our entertainment choices, even assist with financial decisions. So you've been using AI all along. It's just now hackers are taking advantage of it, and they're going to implement things using AI to trick you. Okay. This is all expected to increase in 2024 and beyond. I just need you to be aware that AI is out there. It does have its benefits with regards to doing business. And that's going to be a whole separate webinar with regards to how you can take advantage of artificial intelligence to help grow your businesses. But in this particular webinar, I'm talking about more of the concerns it's going to play when it comes to risk assessments. Okay. You're going to need to expect new attacks and hacks, including using the telephone. The telephone attacks are out there. Just think back on the MGM event, and I'm going to talk about that in just a little bit. That was all going back to the basics of getting access via your telephone. So please remember that risks, ransomware attacks, viruses is a $1 trillion business. So it's not expected to go away anytime soon. And hackers are definitely getting smarter about it. Okay. So we want to make sure that the human factor is covered. It's not necessarily going to be coming in without assistance from your staff. Okay. So we want to make sure that we're educating. The human risk will continue to be involved with business email compromise. That is what BEC stands for. And of course, the human risks. Business email compromise still is ranked incredibly high with regards to how attackers are getting through. They're getting through your email, and it's getting more and more difficult to determine whether or not that email is real. Okay. I do want to point out, please never give information via an email. So if they're asking for something, or even if it's from somebody please pick up the phone and reach out to them. All right. Now, here's what to watch out for 24. So QR code scams, these codes, and I know that you've seen them. I went into a restaurant recently, and there was no menu. And so I was a little confused about where the menu was. But on a sticker on the restaurant table was a QR code. And when the waiter came over, he said, you need to scan the QR code in order to access their menu. So I don't know how many of you have experienced that, but now menus with COVID and the hands-on stuff, they've put all of their menus via a QR code. I want to express caution with regards to scanning QR codes. That's how hackers are rerouting you to a fake site. They are routing you to an infection where you're going to download a virus. So please be careful with just randomly scanning QR codes. They are everywhere. Those QR codes are becoming more and more popular. Consider supply chain attacks. Yes, it is a matter of wherever you're doing business, right? So it could be where you're getting your inventory, your doctor's office, your insurance company, your lawyer, any online vendor that you're doing business with, your software providers. We want to make sure that those supply chain attacks understand you're doing business with them. We want to believe that they are being ethical, and we want to believe that they are doing everything imaginable to keep their information safe. But we know that there's an awful lot of attacks happening right now. So don't, excuse me, don't be afraid to really ask them. Ask them how are they keeping track of their information? Do they have precautions in place? Obviously, AI generated attacks. Once again, it's all about making their scams a little bit more sophisticated, using AI to generate their language. Backdoor attacks. Now, by that I mean attacks can come through your equipment, which is why my first point of discussion was making sure that you're evaluating that equipment. Backdoor attacks are coming through firewalls. They're coming through switches, printers. They're coming through that stuff. So we want to make sure that you are keeping that stuff up to date. Technology, once again, is not a one and done. You can't just install it and walk away. You've got to make sure that it's being updated, right? So, and that holds true for your network equipment as well. All right. Once again, we've got some telephone attacks. The MGM one happened in September of 2023. And let me just give you a brief summary of that. Basically, a hacker was able to find MGM and MGM employees' information on LinkedIn. So hacker went on LinkedIn, realized this employee works for MGM, and that person had enough personal information on their LinkedIn account. That hacker contacted the IT department of MGM and told them who they were, and that they were working off-site and needed their credentials. And the IT help desk gave that person that employee's credentials. It cost MGM just over $100 million. And so that was a significant loss. Uh, Thousands of records were stolen. Casinos were shut down. Um, their ATMs were shut down. People couldn't get in their rooms at the hotel. So it was a massive attack, and it was done by a phone call. Okay. So please be careful. And if you didn't realize, Caesars Casino also was attacked that same time frame. It wasn't advertised as much as the MGM attack was. We've got some cloud exploitations. I'm always very concerned because I will talk to prospects and clients and say everything we have is on the cloud. Everything we use we go to the internet. That's perfectly okay. We are very similar. However, that does not mean it's not your responsibility to make sure that you're safe. Okay. So please make sure that we are considering that as well. Email scams, they are forever in our world, and we just have to educate, and of course the human factor with your stuff. Okay. So that is all stuff that we want to watch out for 2024. So keep that in mind and communicate it properly. All right. Now, here's the problem. Ransomware and viruses generate trillions of dollars. So for some unethical individuals, this is a business. This is a business. This is what they do. These individuals have created groups that are targeting you. No matter how much money they steal, it's all profit. You may think you don't have anything of value, but they will try to exploit you and your data. So please be careful. These are two very prominent groups that are happening right now. The Play group is presumed to be a closed group designed to guarantee the secrecy of deals, according to the statement from the group's data leak. So please be careful. The Scattered Spider group, that is the group that attacked MGM, and they're using data extortion. So please be careful. There are groups of people out there trying to get access to your information. Okay. And it is a business for them. All right. So here's some things on your 2024 agenda. So I need you to consider your cybersecurity protocols. They need to be in place. You need to understand what is in place, that you have something in place and you have somebody that's protecting you. Okay. You need to continue to meet the compliance guidelines for your industry. So CST works in the compliance-driven industry as a primary. So we work with insurance, legal, accounting, government. We work in automotive with the FTC requirements. So we will then go out and we determine what is specific to your industry. All of you have something a little bit different. My staff and I understand what those requirements are, and we can get those in place for you. Okay. So meet the compliance guidelines. That's what we're asking you to do, even on a base level. Let's get something started. Create and or modify, some of you may already have one, a disaster recovery plan. So if something were to happen where you were to lose access to your systems, what happens? Where do you go? What do you do? Who's in charge? How do you communicate it? We do have a template, a disaster recovery template. We share it with our clients. So if you are a client and on the call, we do share it with you already. If you are not a client, please reach out, and we can provide you that base template. It'll be something to get you started. Okay. I need you to continue to initiate multi-factor authentication. Now, if you're a client, have already deployed that on your Office 365 accounts, where you have to two-factor to your cell phone or to your office phone or to your email. We need you to implement multi-factor authentication across the board on all your accounts. Your banking, your financials, that needs to happen with MFA. And I know there's not anybody that I've ever spoken to that has said, I love MFA. It's awesome. No, we all dislike it. We all think it's a pain. And if you multi-factor to your cell phone, obviously the struggle occurs there as well. If you were to switch your phones, Sean and I recently switched our cell phones. It was awful. Let's just admit it. It was awful. But we got it all of those two factors going to the new phones. And yes, we are more secure. And I need to be secure so that you are secure. So please consider multi-factor authentication on all of your accounts, especially financials. And we want to educate. We want to make sure that everyone is on board with regards to what your expectations are when it comes to cybersecurity protocols. Okay. And we want to make sure that all of your tech is monitored and secured. And that does include all of that back end stuff that you don't see, stuff that's in the closet, your servers that are in the closet, your firewalls, your switches, your access points, anything broadcasting wireless connectivity. Okay. We want to make sure that you're considering all of that. All right. All right. Now, here's some of our goals. As an IT firm, we we go above and beyond. We meet all expectations. We exceed all expectations of what we need to do to secure our information and therefore your information. But we try to do that all while enhancing our clients' technology experience. We are a passionate firm. I love technology. If you've met me, you know that I love talking about it and I love educating and I love making sure that our clients are happy and my staff does the same. We will be deploying ongoing cybersecurity protocols to meet those demands. We do attend a ton of educational seminars, certifications. It's forever changing, and so therefore we can't drop the ball. We're going to continue that ongoing protocol. Okay, we will be doing some risk assessments. Now, what's interesting about the risk assessments is your insurance company uh, is now going to require you, especially in those compliance-driven industries, to do what's called a risk assessment. And a risk assessment is basically us being able to, we work with a third-party company, so we can perform those tests for you. But our third-party company will ultimately simulate what would happen if a hacker were to get through. And what that simulation does is it opens up and identifies any gaps that may be open that we have to patch before a hacker finds. And that simulation is incredible. I have run a dozen or so of them so far, and they really help us fix any security protocol holes. So we appreciate being able to do that. You will be required to do that, and it'll be dependent on the time frame. Some of you will do it quarterly. If you're in finance, if you're managing anything finance, you will need to do it quarterly. And some of you will just do it annually. We'll take a look and see if we can just do a quick risk assessment to make sure that we're moving forward with the proper protocols. Okay, so we hope to be able to identify any gaps before hackers find them. And of course, CSD is going to be doing some VoIP services. We are super excited to deploy that. Michelle is our team lead on that. She is the one that is going to help us kind of deploy VoIP services. It is something our clients have asked for, and they have said, look, we are tired of working with another vendor for our phone systems. They're just sometimes difficult to reach out to, and we want a proactive approach. So we will be doing VoIP services. We hope to be able to kick that in gear at the start of the year. So if you need somebody to help manage those VoIP services, we are certainly available to do that. So we're excited for that. Okay. All right, guys. Now, as a special offer, we always will offer the free network assessment. And what that basically is a phone call. It's not complicated. I can learn a lot by talking to you. We will be able to determine where you are currently, what you have in place, what you don't have in place, what at base level you should have, what kind of budget you're looking at. It's not complicated for us. We love doing them. We love passing that information on. That is where you can schedule an assessment, or you can simply call my office or talk to Sarah. She is in charge of my calendar, so she will be able to get that on the schedule. So does anyone have any questions about how they're going to end the year? Sarah, are there any questions out there?
I don't have any questions yet.
Okay, that is perfect, guys. Feel free to ask a question as we finish up this webinar. I am right on track with about 2 minutes left. So whether this is your first webinar with us or whether this is the 12th, I want to say thank you. I hope that you have learned a little something with each one of these webinars. We will continue to do them in 2024, so you will get invites. I am going to be co-hosting several webinars throughout 2024. We are bringing in experts from other industries to be able to educate you, whether that be your financial. We're going to be working with a financial expert. We are going to be working with NYMAR. If you are in local government, your insurance agent is probably NYMAR. We're going to be working with a local insurance company to kind of pass the word from the experts coming in off of those industries that are requiring you to do stuff with regards to your cybersecurity assessment. Now, I believe Sarah and Michelle have probably got a wheel going of everybody that is on the call. And we are going to announce the winner of the $100 Amazon gift card. And what's interesting is we are going to email you your gift card. So it will come from me. It will come from me. So please be, if you're the winner, be expecting an email from me. If you don't get it by end of day, please reach out. I am planning on doing it as soon as the end of the webinar. So you will have it for the holiday. I appreciate you all very much. So Sarah, can you tell me who the winner is?
I just spun the wheel and the winner is Gary.
Okay, Gary, congratulations. We appreciate all of you very much. We hope that you have an incredible holiday, and we will see you in 2024. Thanks, everybody. Bye.